Hola, hi fashion lovers. My name is Christopher y bienvenidos to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing my thoughts on the newly presented fashion pack by Integrity Toys titled Studio 77. But before we get into today's video, if you are new around these parts, please consider hitting the subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever I upload new videos related to most Integrity Toys products, as well as fashions and stylings for our 1/6 scale dolls. My brain right there was not really clicking, so anyways, but let's go ahead and move on to the focus of this video, shall we? Okay, so before I discuss the first out of the 3 fashion packs, I do want to say that from the moment the email was sent announcing that there was going to be a new release, I always try my best to like comb through the emails. So I feel like there's always a hint. And usually when they're going to release a collection of dolls, it does say new release of dolls. This email specifically did not have the word doll in it. So I knew it had to be an item. I was thinking more like maybe a prop, but fashion packs were also another idea that I had in mind. Now, I will say, due to the font and due to the disco balls, I was also assuming that maybe Miss Poppy Parker was entering the 70s. I actually was never, ever thinking that this would be an offering for fashion royalty. So, color me surprised when they said fashion packs for fashion royalty, because it was not what I thought. But anywho, I really love the idea of getting more offerings in fashions. I obviously am someone who enjoys restyling and playing with my dolls and creating different looks from mixing and matching things. So this was right up my alley, but I have some thoughts. So with that, let's discuss the first fashion pack, the VIP section. I'm gonna go ahead and insert the stats on the side right over here. What I will point out is for non-Integrity Toys member, the price of the fashion pack is $90, and for Integrity Toys W Club members, it will be $75 with a $25 deposit. Okay. This was a very strong way to start this collection. I actually, from the moment I saw this, was like, ooh. My first thought was ooh. I don't know if I loved it, but I definitely had an ooh feeling. Mostly because I actually don't think I've ever had a suit from Integrity Toys for an FR, and I love an idea of a suit for a female character. So having that as like the base for this fashion pack was obviously a winner. I also love that like big balloon sleeve blouse concept. Love it. I don't know if I was in love with the color, but I do think it is more modern. I think it's going to give me some great features to play around with and style. So for me, this was a great starting point. The 70s, I saw it and I didn't see it. I will say that the only like negative thing that I have is I love for my like wide leg trousers to go all the way to the bottom for girls. That is a personal pet peeve of mine. I don't like to see shoes. Like I don't know. I like the shoes to be covered when we have pants like this. So the fact that they're like showing a little bit of heel, not my thing. I also thought the gold is a little harsh. I know we were like really 70s. Again, personal opinion. But overall, I really do think that starting with the suit was probably the best idea, because it is an item that I personally have been wanting for a very long time, and I'm super excited to get it as a fashion pack. I will say that I didn't immediately think of different ways of restyling, but I was glad that the idea of mixing and matching was there. So there was a lot of items to play with, and that to me is always a win-win situation. Again, love to restyle, love when they already kind of think that for the collector to be like, okay, how can this person play with it? Please, 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 please always keep that. Another thing, Chris. I heard the car and it distracted me, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because we got the window here. I don't want to mispronounce the last name, so I'm not going to mispronounce the last name. I actually will also say, due to Chris's styling at East 59th Street, I almost want to say I expected more from this look in particular with the suit, because his tailoring is just impeccable over there. But it is a different era, and the 70s are a tricky era when it comes to fashion, honestly. But nonetheless, this suit was my top pick out of the three, I will say. But moving on, now we're just going to close that chapter on the first one. Let's move on to the second look. The name of this look is Clubbing the Night Away. I'm going to go ahead and insert the stats right on the side over here. The pricing for each one of the fashion packs are all the same. So similar to earlier, if you're a non-club member, it is $90. And if you're a double club member, it is $75 with a $25 deposit. Out of these three, this one is my least favorite. Here are why. Or here is why. I love the color. Let me start there. The color was fantastic. Love, 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 love the color. Maybe also the idea of showing me pants right after you showed me pants might have not been a winner for me. And the bodysuit thing. I understand that it's supposed to be sexy. I get it. It's the 70s. Skin was in. But there was just something about it that I was like, I can't do anything with this. Even if I purchased it for the pants and the coat and maybe the accessories and the shoes, what am I supposed to do with this bodysuit? That just didn't really, it was missing something. And I appreciate, again, the idea of having pieces and it not being like one full jumpsuit. But at the same time, I almost wish it was one piece instead of it being two. Just because of the era that it is. Jumpsuits were really a thing. And again, love the versatility, but something just felt, it just felt like it was missing something. And if the color was the only thing it had going for it, it was the one that I was like, I can pass. It just didn't. It didn't. Now, something else I will mention, I didn't mention about the first fashion pack. They did discuss kind of the fits and the styles due to them all mostly being shown on FR. I say most, the last one was shown on a Meteor body. But they're really intended for FR. I mean, they were trying to kind of like say, if you try it on a new face, the bust might be loose. We already know that. If you try on someone else's, there'll be issues here and there, but you're more than welcome to try. Because the truth of the matter is, with a lot of these clothing, some of them work and some of them don't. It's really just up to the cut that day. I've had Poppy Parker clothes that work on a FR and new face. It just depends on the style that they're wearing. So it is up to you to try it. But they were really intended for fashion royalty. Just a reminder for those that might have not heard or seen the video. But this look just, it was missing the mark somewhere for me. I could try to say more, but there really is more to say, but I feel like it missed the mark here. And I'm sorry to say this is the one that I just cannot back up. Okay, now last but not least, we have making an entrance. I'm going to go ahead and add the stats right on the side over here. And I will say this one, from the moment I saw it, I could already visualize on my dolls. There's an eyelash that's bothering me, of course, as soon as the camera's on. This one felt the most 70s to me. Not to say that the burgundy one, deep wine, whatever color you want to call that, didn't. There was just something about this set that really just yelled play with me. It feels like it has the most items to mix and match with, and this was definitely the style that once I saw this one, I started thinking of ways to mix it with the first one that I loved. And once that concept came into my mind, I was like, okay, these are the two that are mine. I can feel them, I can see them, I can play with them already. I got it. This one definitely, I think out of the three, again, felt the most 70s, mostly because of the wrap chiffon thing going on and then the gold chain. I really enjoyed this one. And in my mind, actually, I thought of it more as resort wear. So like I was thinking of my dolls, some were tropical and some were hot. I enjoyed this one. I really did. And, you know, it's something that I didn't feel with the second one out of all, which is fine. Out of three, liking two, that's a positive. I just think that with this line in particular, Chris, the designer, is such a masterful artist when it comes to layering clothes on such a small scale. And he definitely did his best to showcase that here, but something was missing. There was some kind of aspect of glam that I wasn't getting and I really wanted, and maybe that's just a me thing. I love a little bit of glam, but there was something that just, I don't know, it was lacking something. And maybe it was the fact that we chose the 70s. The 70s in my mind, I have to brush up on them, weren't really an era of too much glam to begin with. It was an era of just showing a lot of skin, if I might recall. So that might be some homework for me to do again on the 70s, but I don't know. Something was lacking. And again, I did find something I did like, but I just felt leaving incomplete, I think is the word that I have. I definitely want to see if this is continued. I want to see if this is explored a little bit more. I want to know if maybe these are just the previews, or like, not the previews, but they're the first offering of something else. Would also really love to see some male fashions thrown in there. I remember them in the 70s. Now that I remember in the 70s. And I would love to see that incorporated if we can get there. Chris has done males on East 59th Street. Would love to see that brought into the club Studio 77, if possible, because why not? Our guys need clothes just as much as the girls do. Let not treat our guys like someone else is treated somewhere else, and his name starts with a K. 2024 is his year, though. You know, can we catch up? Can this be the year for our guys? Just saying. Our guys need clothes too. So I'm gonna wrap up my video here, just because overall I don't think I have much more to say. I need the clothes in my hand, and I believe these aren't being shipped out till the fall, so we have some time to go until they're in my hand. But when I have them, I think I'll be able to give some further and deeper thoughts. Right now, based on the photos and based on how they were styled by someone else, again, just felt like they were missing something. So I leave my thoughts there with this video. I hope that helped anyone that had any questions out there about anything, honestly. But now I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna wait for some of our pre-orders that I hope are coming in May to arrive, because I'm very excited about what they said should be here. And if you're a W Club member, you know what they said comes in May. So I'm expecting that email soon, no than later. But until next time, guys, adios.